Hi, I'm Carolyn.
I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out.
This is episode 38 and it is Saturday, November 18th.
Wow. November is just zipping by.
It sure is. Yeah. And we're happy you're here.
Yes. Good to see everybody.
To be here.
We are happy to be here.
So welcome, and here we go.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of an overcast day, but we've got really good fresh air coming in.
Feels
it's
great.
Like a wonderful temperature. You can be wearing a sweater. It's not too hot, not too cold.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a lot for you in this episode. We're going to do a little chit chat. We have a toast. We're going to tell you about what we're wearing or not wearing. Let's see, we've got.
Sounds really funny.
I know.
You'll understand.
You'll understand when we get there. We have a finish. We have whips. We have a few starts. We have plans. We have a few shared supplies. And wait till you get to shared supplies. I'm having a little bit of a new fascination.
I have a little hint about this, but I haven't seen anything. Yeah. I kind of like it when part of our video is a little unknown to me.
I don't always tell. There are a few things I don't always tell you because I'm like, oh, she'll see it in the video. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we'll end with our thumbs up. So we'll have to decide. Typically, we release our videos on Thursdays. And this Thursday for U.S. citizens, or U.S., what am I saying? Thanksgiving in the U.S., It's the fourth Thursday of November. So we'll have to decide if we release it on Thursday or Friday.
I hadn't thought about that.
So you'll see it when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. Anything from comments, from the last comments?
Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you.
Oh, yes.
One commenter said, why don't I have Carolyn finish the second mirrored house, half of the brick house sampler? Would you consider it
I would consider it. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
I haven't touched it.
Okay. And that was your Whipco, right?
It was my Whipco, and it's an old whip of mine, and I'm just not sure if I want to finish it or not.
You know what I think I would consider? If you pick it up enough and you like it, that you're like, I'm going to finish kind of what I've started, then I would consider doing the rest. But if you're like, I feel done with it, I think we should give it away to somebody that wants to finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good option.
Okay, so what's the scenario where you would finish it?
If you did like your part.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think you're out there. Here, cut this way a little bit.
The seam of the cushions?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's okay. It's good.
Okay.
You're gonna snuggle in.
I was feeling like your shoulder was going off the frame.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then a few people I had asked in the last video, when you see a back stitch that's more than just one diagonal, do you do, or more than just one horizontal or vertical, do you do like a jump, or do you just do like a big longer jump? And basically people said it's really stitcher's choice, but frequently you do a little stitch every square.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something else called a straight stitch or a long stitch, would be like the whiskers on the Rev.
Right.
The Rev's cat,
okay.
Which are like obviously like long.
Yeah. I often think like the back stitch is used as an outlining device or adding a little detail. And I think of that, as you said, like sort of just one stitch at a time. Okay. That's good. That's always helpful to them. Okay. Let's see. What's been going on with us for the last 2 weeks?
Kind of a lot of ordinary things. A lot of time at school. And
yep, I'm in the middle of a little jury duty. Haven't been put on a case yet, but I have one more day I have to go in as a possible juror to be selected, which I'm fine either way. We have to do something really fun. We're on our Thanksgiving week break, so we have this entire next week off. And on the day before, the Friday before, in the afternoon, grandparents or special friends can come with the students to class.
About that.
Oh my gosh. This is the first year I've taught 6th grade. I've taught other grades before this. And man, did the grandparents and special friends show up. We had more grandparents and special friends than actual students in the classroom.
That's a lot of people.
But we had a great time. I always try to do like a really interactive activity that the grandparents can get into and they can work together. And it was really, really, really fun. So that was a highlight for me.
I like that idea. I've never seen that in action. I can imagine it.
Yeah. And our mom came over today, and I was telling her about Grandparents' Day, and she goes, why didn't you invite me? I could be someone's special friend.
Oh.
And I go, well, we had plenty of special friends. But I told her, you know what? I'll invite you next year and you can be my special friend. Because she goes, I'd really love to be in the classroom and just see what's going on. So
I like that
I'm going to
idea.
invite her next year. Yeah. Okay. How about you? Anything?
No, I think that's I seriously can't think of anything I've done besides school stuff, make a little dinner, do a little cross stitch, just really, really regular stuff.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing I just want to say. I just want to thank everybody again that comments. I love reading the comments. It's so fun. So thank you. And I know sometimes I watch, like when I'm watching a FlossTube, like especially if I'm watching it on a TV or in a way that it's hard to leave a comment, I don't, but sometimes I'm like, oh, just like that nice little, hey, I liked your video, or it's great to see you.
It helps knit us all together. I watch FlossTube in like little snippets, like 10 minutes here or 20 minutes there, and I rarely comment. So
Okay.
I might need to change that habit.
Do, thank you. It's fun learning more about you all.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's toast because it is Carolyn's birthday week. So, Carolyn,
Yes.
I'd like to offer a toast to you.
Thank you.
May this next year be a joyful one.
Oh, thank you. Cheers. My birthday this year is the day before Thanksgiving, and Anna's husband has the same birthday as I do, so it's really fun to have a birthday buddy. I can't wait. All right, let's start with, hey Anna, what are you wearing?
This is when Carolyn said not wearing, because I'm like, I'm going minimalist today. I got nothing handmade. I'm wearing a white puffer vest from Uniqlo.
Yeah. Oh, you got a nice little t-shirt on under there and some jeans. I know, I think the last video, I think both you and I were both doing a lot of house cleaning.
Yeah, it's
and
the
we
same
were
thing.
just like, whatever we have on.
I've been to Safeway. I've made some key lime pie. I've done some tidying. It's been a good Saturday.
We have a huge, our family Thanksgiving is a thing. And in fact, it's like a Thanksgiving week. And our first sister, Joan, you know Joan. In fact, maybe we'll put a little video of Joan in here. She and her husband come in tonight. So they're the first group that comes in. And we'll eventually have like 20 odd people just around for the week, right? And then Thanksgiving, we'll have about 30 some.
Yeah, one of our other sisters, Lynn, who you may have met a few videos ago, one of her girlfriends says, you don't have like extended family for Thanksgiving. You have a full-on family reunion during Thanksgiving week. It is. It's a lot of people, and so we have to get creative about meals and outings and
right. And even everybody. Starting Sunday, we try to all gather for dinner. So we just take turns who hosts dinner, and everybody comes over, and it's really fun.
That's what the key lime pie is for. Tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow we're doing a progressive dinner.
I can't wait.
Anna's got dessert. All right. What am I wearing?
Yes,
is that what you were curious about? Okay.
Carolyn, what are you wearing?
Okay, I'm wearing the Lunenburg pullover. This was designed by Savory Knitting, and the yarn is Lichen and Lace Rustic Sport. This was my sweater that I knit last year, and it has already just become a staple in my wardrobe. I love it. I love yoke sweaters. I love the color, and I put a little pop in my cuff. He's a little blue in there. So sometimes if you feel a little drab someday, just go like,
I do like that touch a lot.
Peek in my cuff. So I love this. And I got this as a kit from the Woolly Thistle. So these were the same colors that the designer designed the sweater in. So sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't, but I just loved this and I'm like, done.
Okay. It's funny, that little pop of color, my husband just got a new winter jacket and he was showing me like some of the details and I'm like, don't you know I've already noticed all of those things? Like a maker sees that little flap in the back or the extra length.
I know. It's in the details, isn't it? That something just becomes, I think same thing with cross stitch. Like sometimes as you're stitching a piece and you're like, oh, I didn't see that little detail before. Good. Okay, finishes. So I have one finish. It's a good one. And it's the Reverend Gourdon Squashbottom. our light's a little...
Yeah, it's really cloudy out.
It's really cloudy out.
It's okay.
It's okay. All right. And this was, of course, designed by Not Forgotten Farm. I got the kit from Country Sampler, and the fabric is Seraphin's Old Stationery 36 count, and it came with a call for DMC, but for any of the big blocks of color, I substituted in an over-dyed cotton to get some variation. So you can see his big old head or his coat or even the cat were done that way. Last time I showed you this, I had the dilemma about the little doodahs. And there was a little blurb that had read from the back of the pattern, and I'm going to read it again. And it says, "The wind whips leaves up through the crisp autumn air as the Rev tried to keep his lantern lit. Is that a smattering of snowflakes I see?" So as soon as I read that, I realized that the doodahs were really important. And the ones that were on there, the shape wasn't right for me. So I went ahead and changed them into these spirals. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. The spirals take up about the same amount of space as the doodahs did and have a few more stitches, but about the same kind of weight that they would have. And I have them going in 4 different rotations or orientations just to get some variation. Yeah. I don't think you would notice unless you looked. I think the only thing is it doesn't look repetitive, hopefully.
And it does, I bet you it
gives
does
you that
add
swirling.
To that. Yes.
So I'm really, really happy with that modification. I think it worked really well.
Great solution.
I'm going to frame this, and I'm going to order a frame from Signed and Numbered. I've noticed some people have done that, and they have one, it's called the Park Slope, and it's actually a little bit of a chunky frame that goes in, so the piece is set back about like an inch, I think, in depth backwards. So I'm going to leave myself, kind of a pretty good chunky linen margin, so when you kind of are looking into the frame, it doesn't feel too cramped.
Oh, I can't wait
so
to see how
I'm going to do. I'm going to get it in their vintage black. Vintage black, yeah. There's another piece later on that I'll show you that I'm also going to get a frame from them. So I'm going to wait till both pieces are finished, and then so I can measure. I want a good
I was going to say, so you decide your margins, and then you have to measure very carefully, and then, I mean, like, what's the variation that's offered for frames like that? Every 1/16 of an inch?
So those frames, they only have set sizes. But I notice when you go look at their Etsy site, they'll be like, special order for Allison. Only click on this if you're Allison. So I think because they hand make their frames, I think you can email them and I could say, like, I want a Park Slope that is blah by blah. And then I think they put a special item you can buy from their Etsy shop. So you go in and you buy
That's
that.
Clever.
I think that's just what I'm gathering from that, because cross stitch, neither of the pieces I want to frame with them are a standard size that their frame would work.
I wonder how much a designer thinks about that, if ever. And I guess the finished size depends on which count, of course, but just even proportion wise.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Really good question. I was also thinking for I consider him seasonal. I wouldn't have him up all year. That even if I do frame them, I'm going to be looking for frames like this is also thick enough. It's self-standing. So even if it's framed, I don't have to think about, it goes on the wall, it comes off the wall. And I have just like a lot of surfaces I can just kind of pop things on. So that's my plan. Okay. I've noticed a few people have started the Rev. So I think every Thanksgiving, there's a few group of people, every fall, a few group of people that get started. So I know Linnie and Roberta, the SABLE Stitchers. I believe it's Roberta's birthday start, but I think Roberta hasn't started it yet. But I know Linnie has. The most recent video had hers in there. And I know there are a few more people too that have recently started.
It's pretty irresistible.
It is. And come on, those side eyes.
Well, well done.
Thank you.
Finished.
Yep,
you had a little troubleshooting you had to do, and you just did it.
Yep, that was last year's birthday start, and I really wanted to have it finished by this year. I think that's a nice kind of goal. Is your birthday start, have it done by your birthday. Okay, the Rev.
All right, so we'll move on to our works in progress. And we both had a new start. We actually started on a Friday afternoon after school. We had about an hour of stitching time together. And it is Plum Street Samplers Cardinal Kin.
One of their stacking animals.
With the Katie Strachan kit. So her silk conversion kit. So Hers is very similar, but she did leave out some things, including the border.
Mm-hmm.
And she definitely changed colors of the birds, too.
And if you don't watch Katie, well, first you should. She's amazing. And go watch one of the ones that she shows her finish of this, because I think everybody saw it for the first time and was like,
that was my reaction.
Yeah, on the blue fabric was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So we got our kids, it's funny, they went live, I think it was like 8:15 in the morning on a Tuesday or something.
That was tricky because homeroom starts at 8:20 for me.
So school starts and I'm just sitting there refreshing. I'm like, I've got to be able to get in there and get it before I have to start being with the kids. Although I guess worst case scenario would be the kids, hey, I'll be in there in a minute, I'm shopping.
I wrote it in the whiteboard. Anna might be a few minutes late to math. My office is right next door to that classroom. So I knew if they were getting a little wild, I would know. But anyway.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to show?
Yeah, I need a little sip first.
Okay, while you do that, I'll show. Where did I put the threads? Do you have the silks?
Oh, here, yes. Although, I like keeping my silks in a little tray.
A little dish.
A little tray. That's maybe. I don't know if the...
Here. Okay, mine are still in my...
Okay, that's easier.
And wait till you see... let me first show my start. And because... you see, I started with the little bird up at the top. The little cardinal. That's it.
It's so cute.
How much of it is it? Oh, it's its head. Its head, but I'm going to go back and chase the beak. It actually took us a little bit of while to get started. We sort of had to have to read her instructions about how she converts it and think about how the threads are going to convert.
Right, what's changed. And now I can see like the pair. Now it all makes sense in my head, but it did take us a while.
Yeah, and when you see Anna's, she has picked 2 different reds for the cardinals. And you can actually see the 2 reds there with the orangey red next to it.
Katie picked that.
Katie. And at first you're like, oh, there's not that much difference in the red, but wait till you see it. Yeah, show it. She's a genius. I mean, we know that color.
When you say she, I'm like, it's Katie.
Katie she.
So I've done the middle cardinal and the bottom cardinal.
Look at that.
Yeah. And the reds are different and the blacks are different. And I decided to give my cardinals, there's a third red. It's like, those are orangey. What would you call that color? I don't know.
A salmon.
Salmon. I decided to do the beaks that color, which is a little different than Katie. And I'm also considering...
I love the beaks being that color. I'm going to so copy you.
I'm very happy with it. This is what I worked on last week. It's just what I wanted to do for that hour or so after dinner that I had to stitch. And it took me a while to remember how to tension goblins. In fact, I can even see the difference between my first couple of lines that I did and then once I got the hang of it again.
But then once you get going, you get that certain rhythm to it. And I don't know how much it's coming on camera, but one of the things we were talking about, those 2 reds, makes the middle cardinal look a little bit matte and the bottom one a little bit shinier, even though they're both goblins. But it's just that slight variation.
Yeah, I think
just adds so much design interest, I think.
I agree.
Okay, Anna.
One of the things I'm playing with is I think, like Katie, I'm not going to do the rectangle border around, but what I might do is like there are a couple of leaves that are like chopped off because of the rectangle border. I might finish those leaves so that when I make a pillow, they're going to sort of curl around to the seam of the pillow. That might put things off balance, but I think I'm going to at least try one and see how it is. So
I like that.
It'll mostly be very rectangular with like a little like poop coming off the side.
Yeah. Okay. I cannot wait to get going on mine. It's funny. I'm still not feeling the winter holiday vibe yet. I'm still very much in Thanksgiving. So I started this and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna love it, but then I'm like not quite ready for it yet.
And I'm kind of the opposite. I barely thought about WIPCO this month, and once this arrived, it's proven to be irresistible for me.
We got our kits on the same day in the mail. We ordered Tuesday. Granted, we live like in the Bay Area and so does she. We ordered Tuesday. We got our kits Thursday, and then we started on Friday. Anna, I love it. You're just doing an amazing job. I know. If you don't do that, you just kind of like admire. Okay, cool.
Oh, another parallel stitch here.
It was funny. You were just recently saying, "Oh, we don't do parallel stitching anymore." And then,
I was missing
and then
it.
we started, and then we started again.
We've got another one coming up.
And I like when we start in different places and then see what happens. All right, so our next parallel start we talked a lot about in the last episode, and that's Pretty Bird.
And people keep saying we're enabling them.
I know, it's been fun. I also posted this on Instagram, and a lot of people are like, "Hey, you just made me buy it." And I'm like, awesome, I will take all blame for enabling.
Exactly.
Please go buy this.
I can guarantee you're going to enjoy this stitch.
Yes, so it's Pretty Bird by the Artsy Housewife. And Anna was, you had the foresight to order the Roxy Flosco conversion.
It's my birthday present.
Oh yeah, and then she shared it with me, so we split it in half. And there's going to be, I mean, look how much threads. And
yeah, I wasn't 100% sure, but good.
And here, and they have been so fun. I have just become such a Roxy Flosco. I feel like the depth of color in these is really great, and I feel like they have depth and luminosity without a lot of variation in them.
It's our first time for both of us to use those threads.
Yeah, and I'm stitching mine on 36 count Tephra by Cedar River Linen Designs, and here is my progress. I've got all the top with the flower. Oh, I should say this is where I was last time. Okay, and then I've got all the top flowers, and so I cannot put this down, and I finished everything but the bird, and then I put it aside for like 3 days. And I'm like, I can't wait anymore. And started in on the bird last night. And everything about this pattern I love. I love this linen. I love the Cedar River linen. It has such a great hand to it. There must be whatever her dyeing process is. I love the Roxy Flosco floss. I love the design. I don't want it to end, but I can't stop working on it.
You did a lot on your bird. You just started that last night?
I just started it last night.
Wow.
Yeah, cool. Okay. I know, and this close is in my cart to getting the lovely dove.
Yes, I like that one too.
And I think I would get the Roxy Flosco conversion. So that's sitting there in my cart. I'll see if I get it or not. I'm hoping she does like a little bit of a series because I could see like 3 of these or something. This is the other piece I'm going to get the signed and numbered frame.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to get one, I think it's called their wide flat, but they have a vintage color that's almost, it's called wine, and I think it's going to be really close to the maroon that floss. So I'm going to go for it and get like a colored frame to go with this because I think that would help that maroon really pop. And it's more of an accent than a strong color in here.
Great, I can't wait to see these frames.
But that's why I have to finish stitching this one to get my dimensions. Correct. Okay, and
all right, mine, I just did a little bit. I don't even think it's worth putting a progress photo. Oh, thanks. Part of my minimalist day. I didn't bring my board over again.
Yeah.
I finished the center flower and I started the bird.
Okay, so you're also going to start the bird.
Yeah, I think I'm going to, I mean, I usually work, well, like the Wi-Fi symbol. So I think I'm going to start the top flower and work on the bird sort of at the same time. Well, I guess everything I have left, I'm going to start working at that on them all together. But I'm feeling similarly to you. Really, really like this. This might be with family in town. This might be what I'm just going to keep one thing out this week, probably. And this might be what it is, because it is very fall-like to me.
Yeah, my Whipco number 3 pull was to stitch something in the season, and I thought I would start another fall piece, but right now between finishing the Rev. And this just feels like fall to me. So I'm counting this as a fall piece.
Yeah.
Would you think that's pretty counting?
I think that is acceptable.
Okay. Thank you.
I forgot to say this is on Pantone. So I got all the thread and the linen.
Okay, so you got everything from Roxy, from Evertotes.
Yeah, and they're both Roxy.
Yeah. And you got the pattern from them too?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's great. I know.
Peacock,
Okay.
Badger.
I have a little less room over here. I'm just going to put things away for a minute. If you're on the fence at all about stitching this, do it. You will not regret it. And it's fun that watching a couple other FlossTubers or Instagram, one person's finished it. I think I talked about her last, and other people are starting at the bottom and working up. It's been really fun to watch the other ones out there evolve.
I hope that happens for North Pole too.
I know.
Once we start ours.
Okay, also Linnie from the SABLE Stitchers, she has the North Pole.
All right, Linnie.
And I think she said she might start it December 1st. No, December 22nd. Because I was going to be like, hey, I'm right in there with you. But I'm like, I'm not waiting until the 22nd. Mm-hmm. He will be going by then. All right, so my next one is my BAP. And a peacock, a unicorn, a badger. And what I focused on this last round, first here's a picture of where I was before, is I really wanted to get a lot of outlining done. So as we have family in town, I can do a lot of background or fill in.
That's a good idea. I hear people say that before they go to retreat.
Yeah. So you can see there's some antlers coming in, leaves and flowers have been outlined. I've got this one. And so I can kind of fill in all of my background there. And then I might try to do a little bit more outlining. And that big flower is done.
Are you still thinking on your birthday you're just going to want to stitch and just hang out?
I do. I think I'm going to do a lot of stitching on my birthday. I might, yeah. Just hang out.
How are you finding the counting? Because I've heard some people say that counting is kind of hard on this one.
Oh, I haven't found the counting hard at all.
Okay.
Like anytime you have to do something like this, like to me, those antlers, things that are organic and don't have a symmetry to them, I just have to go a few stitches, look at my pattern, a few stitches, look at my pattern. So
do you ever like highlight what you've done on your pattern or anything like that?
No, I'm just using, I did make a copy. I'm just going to flash. I don't think, it's a beautiful, so it's all color inside.
It is pretty.
And I just wanted to use the book and have the book get used as I'm doing it. No, I don't feel like
it's like a journal. Like soft edges.
Yeah, exactly. Or if like this, outlining this flower, there's so much symmetry there. Once you do a few, you almost don't need to look at the pattern. I still love this. I love this. It's so fun to stitch on.
It's amazing.
The floss, the Versoix, Soie d'Agé. It's just like luminous. It's so pretty to work with. I love how it's feeling with full coverage.
I think that's one of my favorite things about cross stitch is even with the Cardinal kin. I mean, it's certainly not full coverage, but the fabric feels different.
Yeah.
I like the feel of it.
Yeah. And even last night when I was stitching, or the night before when I was working on this, I'm like, it's kind of cool because as you're cross stitching, you're actually like kind of adding on to the linen. Like, the linen has this warp and weft, and then you were putting cross stitches. So I almost feel like you're making them one. I don't know. I had some weird, I was tired from work. I'm like, I'm actually building onto the fabric. I don't know. So, Peacock, unicorn, badger. I hope I don't get tired of this because I
don't think you're going to.
I hope
There's
not.
There's a lot of variation.
Yeah. And like even I still have a little dark red. It's kind of interesting, like this little flower right here, right in here has some of this very rich red, but right down here are going to be a more strawberry. So sometimes I sort of hold off finishing motif because I'm only going to use a little bit of a floss and be like, when I do the strawberries, I'll come back and do this. So there's always a few places that I'm like, oh yeah, don't forget to fit or there's a little yellow still in the bird that I had run out. But this flower is done in that yellow.
Sometimes I think when you or I finish sort of a bigger piece, the other one of us should take the pattern in the piece and just kind of do a little cross check before it gets framed.
Yes.
I mean, FlossTube's good for that too.
Yes. Somebody's like, you didn't. Yeah, because you could easily be like, oh yeah, I just had that little bit there.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes your eyes just go out. Like sometimes on a grocery list, I think I've checked my grocery list, but my eyes just like flip over one thing that I actually hadn't gotten yet.
Okay. Yeah.
We Santa 2022. I did a few nights on this little one. Finished his face. Did some snowflakes. I am finding some of this to be, I don't know who says it, or maybe more than one person says it, like the fiddly bits. What are some synonyms we can all use for the fiddly bits? I have to do them in small doses. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm liking Cardinal kin. I'm liking Pretty Bird because it's more fill-in or something? It's not like a little here, a little
I would
there.
call it like chunks of color. So
So-
do you find on this, like it's sort of like, oh, it's 6 stitches in this color and then 5 stitches in that color.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of starting and
a lot of stopping and starting.
Mm-hmm.
Starting and stopping. Mm-hmm. But I love the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to have this fully finished for this Christmas.
Yeah, but I think that's nice because that can be a little tedious, and particularly I think if your brain's a little bit tired, that's a harder. It's not as relaxing as getting in that rhythm
For sure.
of doing a bigger chunk.
It's-
so it's almost like you just need to do a little bit.
And when we do this, what's the stuff called? The shiny stuff.
Accentuate.
Accentuate. When I do that part of Cardinal Kin, I think I'm gonna do it like on a Saturday morning. I have to be fresh for certain kinds of stitching, or else it's not fun for me. Yes. So this is, I know people are very familiar with that pattern probably, but heart and hand, and I'm using hog bristle with the called for overdyed cottons.
Some of the people you were sort of stitching along, Jody and Robin, they finished theirs,
They
right?
both finished, and in fact, Robin has finished a second one this year's, the one you got with the stripe.
Oh,
And Jody has kitted up and started 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're
kicking
kicking my back. No, theirs looks so great, and I'm coming in for a finish right behind them.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed having a few Instagram friends doing the same thing. I've really enjoyed that a lot. So
It's really
cheers
fun.
to you, Robin and Jody.
Okay, yeah, Robin and Jody.
Your wee Santas are adorable. Have you? Well, yeah. I was going to say, have you started your wee Santa? But I would know that you're not in the holiday mood.
I'm
yet.
not in the holiday mood yet. I'm going to start my wee Santa on St. Nicholas Day. Now,
We're not starting North Pole on St. Nicholas Day. We're starting North Pole when we start our Christmas tree.
yeah, we're gonna start North Pole.
I
before-
literally am like this in my mind. My needle is threaded. I'm pulling
know.
for my first stitch. Whenever Carolyn wants to start
I
North Pole,
think,
we're jumping ahead.
Definitely. I'm almost like thinking like the weekend after Thanksgiving. I might start to feel holiday vibe.
Cannot wait.
And I just don't want to do it before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I kind of like, I just need to keep that separation. But okay, Anna, anytime after Thanksgiving that you want to start North Pole, totally in.
Again,
We go.
I got
Our
up really
linen's
early.
ready.
I'm going to text her at 5:30 in the morning, the day after Thanksgiving. I've got the first tree in.
No, let's do it. Let's actually start it together. So you can.
Oh, you mean like in the same room together?
Yes.
Oh,
Or,
good.
I mean, yeah, if we can. That was really fun with Cardinal Kin to do that. So if you, Friday morning, if you want to wake up, it's 5:30 in the morning and text you at 7:30, I'll reply that I'll be over in a few minutes, okay?
But yeah, we have the Christmas tree too.
Yes. Okay.
Great. So I'm still enjoying Wee Santa. I want to finish it, and I'm probably going to finish it in bits and spurts.
Nice.
There we
Show
go.
your little bag though. I love your wee little bag that you have your wee little Santa in.
Isn't it cute? It's the biggest pom pom. I got it at a little gift shop, Lou and Elle. It's really nicely made.
All right, I'm going to show you a couple knitting whips now. The first I've shown in the last couple episodes, and these are socks for my adult niece, who is also a lawyer. And it is, I'm all ready to bind off the top. So the sock is essentially done, except for that top bind off. This yarn is from Must Stash Yarn, and she does really wonderful self-striping. And the colorway for this is Sergeant's Pepper. And as soon as I saw this, my niece loves the Beatles. I'm like, she's gonna love these socks. These will be like good, cozy, like winter socks.
But I'm wondering, why is it called Sergeant Pepper?
Yeah, you know
Like,
what? That's a really good question. I don't know enough about the Beatles and Sergeant.
Psychedelic.
It's kind of
or something?
psychedelic.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just went for the name. So that's great. And I'm gonna get that second sock started because that's also good. Socks are great
Yeah.
knitting when you're just hanging out with people. So that's Annabelle's sock. That's coming along, socks. And then the other knitting project is a new start for me. I was really feeling with the weather that I wanted to start a new sweater. So this is the Kachamic sweater by Caitlin Hunter of Boylan Knitworks.
That was gorgeous.
And I've actually had the yarn for this project for about, I'm gonna say almost 4 years. and just hadn't started it because when she came out with this, I'm like, I love this sweater.
Is it that colorway or something else? Okay.
And this is another time when she often will do this is she'll work with an indie dyer and she'll release her sweater and the indie dyer will release kits. I mean, kind of like what we do in the cross stitch world. And I love this so much, I got the kit also to go along with that.
Great, because I think that...
And that turtleneck, look at that turtleneck. So here is the yarn. The company that makes the yarn is called Moon Drake Co. And this is their Corriedale DK. And Corriedale is a type of a sheep. So it's a non-superwash, it's a woolly wool. And here are the colors. The body is done in espresso. And I don't really have any sweaters that have brown as their base. And then the two accent colors are toffee and blue sage.
Yeah, the espresso looks darker in person than it does in that photo.
Yeah, and I feel like the toffee looks a little golder in that picture as well. All right, so here's what I have so far. I'm doing the turtleneck, and it starts top down, so you're starting here, and you do the turtleneck. I'm doing this because it's going to be a funnel that folds down, and then you'll start the yoke.
Yeah,
and
it's a
start
big
going.
fold.
So I've just been working on my turtleneck, so you can almost imagine. Let me just fold it down, start getting the feel of how that's gonna look as a turtleneck.
I like the drape of that a lot.
Yeah, so it's good ribbing, and there's just a little bit of that toffee as the accent on that. So this has to be 10 inches. That's how big and that turtleneck is gonna be, and then it will start into the yoke. This is again
and
really
when
good.
It's folded down, it's not exactly half. It doesn't fold
right.
Maybe one.
Yeah, it's interesting. You knit this as a total tube. There's no shaping in this. Then you start, once you get to the base, then you start to shape your yoke. So it's interesting to me when I look at that picture closely, it does look like it's wider down here in the turtleneck. So I don't know if that's just from blocking and stretching or being on the hanger. So yeah, we'll see. I got this yarn.
Look at that. That's definitely stretched because of that. Yeah.
I got this yarn again like 4 or 5 years ago. And then I was looking at the pattern again, and for my size, I'm like, I don't think I have enough espresso. And I hate playing yarn chicken. It's so stressful for me. I can't enjoy my knitting. So I'm like, do I have enough? How much do I have left? Let me feel my ball. How big does it feel? So I went online and I actually found one place that had some espresso. It was not an easy yarn to find. And so I just ordered a skein. The dye lot I'm sure will be different, but I can deal with that. I can mix it in out. And even if I don't need it, I'll pay $23 for a peace of mind.
I'm the same way.
So I have another one coming. Okay. So I hope to have this done, probably knitting a sweater. I'll probably have it done in January or February.
Really pretty.
Yeah, thank you. I really am enjoying it, and the yarn feels great.
Okay. Oh, some plans.
Plans. Anna, what are your plans?
So if I'm going to predict the next, not only the next couple of weeks, but the next maybe month and a half, I think it's going to be Christmas related stitching. I think I want to start a sampler in the new year. But until then, so I want to FO and FFO Cardinal, Ken, and Wee Santa. And like I said, I'm literally poised to start North Pole. And I want #KathyBarrickFanClub. Let's figure out a hashtag to use. Like we could say Kathy Barrick North Pole. We could do KB North Pole. I wonder if Kathy Barrick has a preference. But you know how when something is called
like North Pole?
Yeah.
Let's do KB North Pole, and then also tag, Kathy Barrick Designs. I think she has her own hashtag for her.
Right.
And then of course, if you're feeling like you're a member of the fan club, always include Kathy Barrick Fan Club. And you don't have to even be stitching a Kathy Barrick to be part of the fan club. Let's keep that fan club going. Yeah. Because it is kind of frustrating because I wanted to see, had anybody else started the North Pole, and there was nothing, I couldn't find anything to search on.
And so going to the designer's hashtag, I think is a good idea. And then you can, I feel a little frustrated by that. Or I think like, do I not know how to do this well or something? So maybe we can decide how we're going to hashtag tag things so that we can see each other's easily. Especially like people we don't already know about. We can meet them that way.
When we start, let's post on Instagram, but I'm going to tag, I've been kind of keeping a list of anybody on Instagram that I see has started it or FlossTubers that have mentioned it. let's tag them in our initial post just to kind of see if we can get like a little group going or encourage everybody to use like KB North Pole or something as a hashtag.
Yeah, or
so,
somebody has another idea. Okay, good.
Okay.
And then I started Kathy Barrick's And Heaven and Nature Sing when we were up at Susan's house. And that was the one where I oriented the fabric incorrectly. I think I was drinking champagne with my sisters. So I have to do some rethinking, but I'm about halfway through that deer. And it's just sitting in the drawer. You know how you said the Rev was calling to you from the closet?
Is that deer?
I think that deer is calling to me from the
What
drawer.
kind of noise does a deer make? It's just going to say, nay!
It's just like a very gentle little voice, like, it's about time. Yeah. I want a belly.
Give me a belly.
So seriously, when I thought about my plans, all I could think about were these Christmas things. I've always enjoyed the lead up for Christmas. I know not everyone does. And I can just feel it starting already. Okay, how about you, Carolyn? Your plans? Oh, your birthday start.
Okay, so my birthday start. So here, I kept going back and forth. I was like, should I do this? Should I do that? Nothing felt right. And then I'm like, well, maybe I'll start North Pole. But then like, just didn't feel right starting it before Thanksgiving. Okay, so I've been seeing this pattern on a couple of floss tubes.
I can't even guess. I can't wait.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
So I ordered the book that it's in. It's in a book. It's a Not Forgotten Farm pattern. It's this book, and I got this from her Etsy shop, so it's still readily available, and it is.
Now I know because it's been catching my eye too.
This one?
Yes, I love that.
Okay, wait, what's it? Let me see the title. It's called Turkey Trot.
I think it is fabulous.
And I can't get this out of my mind. It just felt like it goes so well with the Rev.
Totally.
And in fact,
a lot of the same colors?
No, I don't know what the call for are here. You're just
going to do it.
I'm going to use the palette from the Rev and do it for this. Because even like this house, this can be the same over-dyed that I used for his head, for his noggin. And so I feel like I'm just going to do my own color, and I'll do it on different linen than the Rev so that they'll be like companion pieces, but not exactly the same.
Well, if you want that look, then you might want to use maybe something a little different, like some the same and some different in your threads too.
Oh no, I'm going to use, because I think if I use a different linen,
that's going to be enough for you.
That'll be enough for me. And I just feel like this is a great fall palette. It's so much to pick from.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be, so I have to pick my linen still.
I think the fact that it's in a book has given me pause. And I've seen it a few times too. Maybe FlossTuber's holding it up.
I did, who have we seen?
The turkey is sort of peacock-like in the tail, and I've always liked the look of things like that.
There's the pillow.
It's a little wild.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick my linen today. I want to get to that house, but I do tend to start in the top right and work down. Okay. I forget. I'm
excited for you. That's
Did
so
Carol Saltbox Stitchers started? I don't want to name names because I'm sure I've got it wrong. And that's when I was like, oh, I don't know if I want a whole book, but it wasn't that expensive. It was not that much more than buying a single pattern. Like what single pattern is going to be $12 to $14.
I got to get used to buying books.
And I think the book was $22 or something. So I felt totally, and I loved it enough that I'm like, I'm just going for it. Okay. So that's my birthday start.
Fabulous choice.
Thank you. And now that's my current plan. Things may change, but I don't think so. All right, and then my Whipco plans. Okay, I've talked about number 3, which is seasonal stitching. My number 8 was taking a fractal design, and I'm going to insert a picture of the design that I picked, the drawing, and I'm going to show it to you on the laptop. Here on my laptop, so you can see it. But in this picture, I'm only using. Let me show you my cropped version, and I'm just using the top part that has the bird and the border. And this is a book plate from a book, and it's a book plate for Anna Landis, 1803. So it was a drawing of her book plate, and I think the inscription says something like, "This is the book of Anna Landis," and some other things. Now, I just as a whim, as like late one night, I'm like, oh, let me just see what happens. So I pulled it into. I'm doing it in Max Stitch. I pulled it in, and right away, it's harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, oh, there's my chart.
A little change here, a little change there, done.
But I, especially for this, which is a drawing and it doesn't have crisp lines already. But I'm starting to get some ideas of how I'm going to be able to do it. I just know I'm going to have to learn a little bit more about Max Stitch. I only know sort of like the very high level of how to use it. I'm going to need to learn some more, but I think it's going to be doable. And so I'm going to keep working on this project. It just needs to be done like sort of when I have more brain space. Like, no, don't start it at like 9:30, 10 at night being like, oh, what happens if I pull this drawing into Max Stitch? So I think that has a lot of potential. And I'm excited for that.
Good.
Okay.
I'm glad you're trying that.
So those, I guess that's not really playing. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. Play with that a little bit more. Finish my bird. Keep working on my peacock. Looking forward to North Pole. Yeah, that's good.
Great.
All right. Let's see. What do we got for shared supplies?
I purchased one thing, and that is, well, I went on a little work basket kick a month or so ago, and I ordered 3 patterns. One of them was this, and I think it was even on a video where he said, like, what kinds of threads are used? And it was called
that's right.
Kreinik Milk Paints.
That's
I'm like,
right.
I'm going to have to use a conversion. But when I Googled it, Kreinik still makes this, and it's a silk. So I ordered
those are so pretty, Anna.
I know, and the company Kreinik says this color line is Silk Mori. So it's a 6-stranded spun silk, and it's designed to replicate the milk paint look of colonial and early 19th century periods.
Oh.
So I mean, who knows when I'm going to start this, but I'm just going to set these aside together.
Yeah.
And that was a fun adventure to search on the internet, to find the colors. The color names have changed. I'm pretty sure they all make sense with the sampler.
Yep. Yep, because there's your vibrant blue. These remind me of the colors of Merry Christmas Wishes.
I see that, yeah.
Wow.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
And luckily the pattern tells you how many skeins to get, because it looks like fewer yards than we're accustomed to.
And is it only the silk that's used in this? Are there any others?
That's it.
Oh, okay, so it's also okay.
So that was fun.
Could this be your beginning of the year sampler that you were talking about you wanted to start?
Possibly. I've been thinking, why am I not stitching more on the samplers I have started? Or why am I not, my latest patterns that I've purchased haven't necessarily been samplers. I have gotten a few little sampler snacks. And I find myself missing them, but then I'm also thinking, like, I don't know, do samplers have a lot of fiddly bits like we were talking about? And maybe I like other kinds of stitching, so I don't know, it's like redefining
Are you having an identity crisis?
I love the look of samplers so much, so I do want it.
You had talked about thinking that you might finish Strawberry Sampler.
Yeah, I haven't touched it. The Christmas stitching is
it's taken over. I know. Last year I got that festive feeling like really early on, and I'm actually a little bit of a Christmas bah humbug a little bit.
That really surprised me last year.
But the festive stitching made me feel really festive. So I'm really excited to do it. But I do think, like, to me, I know. You do you. If you love Christmas before Thanksgiving,
sure,
go. Like, great. To me, I can't do that. But I will be getting my tree like the day after.
Some commenters did say, well, we want to see these trees of yours, so watch us go to the lot and they don't have them.
I know. It's good. Well, whatever.
Anyway. Okay, so now I can't wait to see your Evertote purchases.
Okay, well, first, about a month ago, from Finally a Farm Girl, when the Brenda Gervais reindeer games came out, here's the pattern.
Oh, yeah.
They're these 3 little ornaments. I went ahead and got the whole shebang.
I see the appeal.
I've never done this before, and it has these like wood ornaments, the rickrack, all the threads, the linen, everything to make and finish. You can see there are So I'm really excited for this. This came last week, and I think I'm really going to try to stitch these and finish these this year.
Yeah.
And something inspiring about having these finishing boards. So those look just really cute.
You know, I know we're always going to be purchasing things and setting them aside for for later, or sometimes just to have in the collection, but just sort of like a thank you note. You know, when you write your thank you note right after the experience, there's something about, and with Cardinal Kin, like we got the kit, we started it. So like it would be great to do this season with the excitement of it.
I know, and I feel like between this and Cardinal Kin and North Pole, I feel like it's a great selection, because I also think Cardinal Kin is a fantastic winner. So if I even don't finish that by Christmas, that's a great like January, February.
I keep wondering
stitch.
if Mom and Dad will end up with one of ours, because they remind me of Virginia, where we grew up, and I don't know.
Okay, now I don't know, Evertotes, I'm sort of into them right now. Part of it is I then watched the FlossTube where it was Evertote, Caroline and Jacob rehashing Jacobpalooza. That was really inspiring. And then there was a recent one where it was Caroline and Carrie, the dyer of Roxy Floss Co. And they're so fun together. I just like their dynamic. So then I'm like, oh, can I be cool like you? I don't know. Like it just kind of helped me. And then I've loved the Roxy Floss Co. floss on this project. So then I'm like,
Well, you haven't opened them yet?
No, because I ordered the holiday countdown.
Oh.
And I didn't, it was like too late to get the floss and everything, but what you
was
get.
that last year was like a band sampler or something like that? Okay.
And what they've done this year, it's 25, is it 25 or 12? It might be 25. They're cards. And so when you open this packet, and it's pretty thick, I think every day you pull out a card, and that's your pattern that you do that day. A piece of it.
But do they all go together?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if it was the band sample, you would get the first band.
Got it.
For that. And then you also just get, I got the December 1st, just the little goodies. That just kind of came with it like this. And then what Caroline's going to do is every day on her Off the Grids FlossTube, she's going to post a FlossTube that talks about the Roxy Floss Co. color that was used, because some people have that kits, but otherwise if you want to follow sort of the color progression. But they also said you can do it all in one color. So I just was curious. I'm not sure, because of all the other things I like to stitch, I'm not sure I could be monogamous enough to like finish every day.
It depends on how many stitches
yeah, so it depends on what I'm just curious, and I think I will at least start it and see what it is, even if I just do a little bit every day. We'll see. So I got that.
Fun.
Then I ordered 2 more things that haven't come yet. So I'm not even going to tell Anna what they are. I'm not even going to tell you what they are. But just know 2 more things are coming. And I have lovely Dove with the floss pack in my shopping cart right now.
It might, around birthday season, it might go out, might get ordered.
Yeah, it's just mine. The reason I haven't clicked checkout yet is I'm like, do I want to get some something more? do I want to get some linen?
Yes,
because I know how much
I looked. I didn't see very many 36 linen.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit more stocked.
Okay,
so I'm
definitely. I love Pantone. I want to try biscuit.
Okay, so maybe we can look and see a couple of colors. So that's why I haven't checked out yet. So, you know, it's just fun. It's just fun trying new things and getting excited by what other people are doing. So I'm just enjoying that. Okay, that's all I bought. That's all. That's a lot for me. That's high on my.
That's leaving us in suspense. I know. It really is fun to see what you choose. Do you feel that's way about me too?
Yes, because I was sort of like when we don't tell each other this.
Yeah.
And Anna, you're gonna be really surprised by one thing I picked. You might be surprised by both things I picked, but you're gonna be really surprised by one thing I picked. You're gonna be surprised by one thing I picked too.
I have some ideas, but I don't want to say them out loud of things that would surprise me.
Okay, just say them. Come on, let's just do one.
Okay, I know that a heart is not your favorite.
Okay.
Like through the years, it's not your favorite
motif.
Shape. So if something has a heart on it, I might like
makes me
stagger.
Makes me sound so cold. I'm like Christmas. I don't know. Come on, hug.
You are not cold at all, but you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if something.
We can talk about that another time.
Talk about that offline. Okay. Let's bring it to Anna. This is sort of short for us. Okay, just a little bit.
I'm like starting slow.
Slow.
Okay.
House guest coming in. Okay, thumbs up. Anna, what are your
I've had a
thumbs
few
up?
experiences in the last couple of weeks where I'm like, there are so many layers of cross stitch history. And I like some stitchers on Instagram or FlossTube who have been stitching for 40 years or whatever. I'm like listening with all my might to them. I feel like it's like an archaeological dig where like things that folks who have been stitching forever are like, oh yeah, that came out 20 years ago or whatever, and they feel brand new to us. And they feel exciting. Like this is a good example. Never heard of this silk. I love stitching with silk. These shades are just beautiful. And Mom came over the other day with some embroidery floss. Wondered if I would want to bring it to school. And it had this wooden hoop where I've seen some people wrap the interior part of a hoop with twill or fabric or something. This is wrapped with newspaper. And it was her aunt who raised her. So this is straight from Pennsylvania Dutch territory and as practical family as could ever happen. It's called Special Select. I looked it up.
Okay. It's interesting, and
look
it doesn't have a tensioning device other than putting it on here, right? There's no screw or metal spring. So I wonder if she put the newspaper on. I mean, just look at that.
And I don't know, when I saw it and I thought of my aunt, I'm named after my grandmother and her sister, and all of our like sort of love and appreciation for Pennsylvania Dutch. I had like a deep response to this.
Don't use this as a hoop. Like this would be beautiful to hang on the wall.
Yeah, I even don't know like if you would want it or something. One of us needs to do something with it. I find it beautiful.
What I would like to do, or what I would think would be cool to do, is to stitch a little tiny, maybe even like a two-sided Pennsylvania Dutch motif, and then just kind of hang it in here. And so it's kind of like.
So it's just this.
So cool.
This history of folks using their hands and making things, and it's very special. So my second thing is the clouds we've had. So Silicon Valley, where we live, is truly a valley. So we can look to the east or the west and there are hills. And we've had our first bit of rain the last couple of days. And at school, sometimes when I just need to take a little walk or something, I walk to the one end of our parking lot, I can see the east hills, and the other side of our parking lot, I can see the west hills. So they've just been amazing, the clouds, and very different on each set of hills.
Yeah, because one is over the bay and the other is going to be over toward the ocean. Yeah.
Then my third thing is just my sisters. I mean, I just cannot wait. All of the sisters are going to be together this week, which is really pretty rare these days. Sometimes we have like a clump of us together, and I just can't wait.
It's gonna be fun.
I just can't wait. And I know sometimes commenters say like, oh, you're so lucky that you have a sister and she likes to cross stitch too. And believe that is not lost on us. But I'm also like, there have been times my husband used to be in the military and we moved a lot. Like there's like a sisterhood out there for anybody seeking it. I used to take a lot of craft classes and meet people that way.
But it can be hard to find, right? You don't always. I think
it's a painful thing when you want it and it's feeling hard to find. But I think this is one of the things why FlossTube and Instagram can be so meaningful to all of us, is that I know if you're not part of the community, it's hard to believe there really is this camaraderie and this sort of stitchy sisterhood. So I can't wait to spend time with our sisters.
Yes. Yeah. We'll all be together starting Monday. So probably Monday to Saturday, probably. Thumbs up.
All right, Carolyn, your thumbs up?
So my thumbs up, I just want to think of 3 things that I'm grateful or thankful for. And maybe just not the obvious things like family, of course.
So my thumbs up is obvious.
No, just like you're not on the list, but don't take that wrong. First of all, I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. I stumbled into the cross stitch world, and I really think I stumbled into it. I don't even know what made me watch that very first FlossTube that then just kind of got me in there. So
I would love to know the answer to that, and we probably never
We'll
will,
never-
because
we'll-
it was shocking to me too when you started talking about it.
I don't even know how it came up on my feed. I don't even like really watch YouTube like before that time. And so I'm grateful and thankful for that. I'm also grateful and thankful for my 6th grade team. We have a really new team this year. We're in a very unusual situation and circumstance for this one year, and our team has just rallied around it, and we work so well together. We trust each other, we respect each other, and in a workplace that's not, I mean, I've always felt like I've had great colleagues, but we just have a fantastic team this year, and I'm so grateful and thankful, particularly since it is a hard year for us. And then lastly, I'm thankful for celebrating my birthday in another year. I'm like one of those people, I don't mind getting older at all. It's been super fun for me. It's so fun to watch your kids get older and your grandkids get older, and just all the things you experience with life. It's really fun for me. And so I feel like a birthday celebration is just like, bring on another year for me. So I'm just grateful and thankful for that. Okay. All right, everybody. Happy crafting.
And stay curious. Well, that was a good one.
That was.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.